Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
So now let me talk about three-phase converters. Till now we talked about single-phase converters, right? Now coming to the three-phase, we are going to talk about a half-wave rectifier first. Three-phase half-wave rectifier basically called three-pulse converter. Three pulse means what? Output waveform has three pulses. So that is why it is called a three-pulse converter. When you come to the output voltage equations, we have two different equations for the resistive load based on the firing angle. V0 is 3 root 3 Vm pH by 2 pi into cos alpha. What is the pH? Is the phase voltage. So in case of three-phase half-wave rectifier, the voltage across the load is always subjected to the phase voltage. V0 is VAN or VBN or VCN. So always subjected to phase voltage. That is why you must take phase value, maximum of phase value. Fine. When alpha less than or equal to 30 degrees. So when alpha less than or equal to 30 degrees, it's naturally we get continuous conduction mode even though the load is resistive load. That is why we get this expression. If alpha greater than 30 degrees, the operation would be discontinuous for the resistive load, so that we get expression is 3 Vm pH by 2 pi 1 plus cos alpha plus 30 degrees. So we have two different equations based on the firing angle for the resistive load. This is discontinuous conduction mode. Now coming to the output voltage expression for the inductive load, highly inductive load, these two are highly inductive. Highly means what? Continuous conduction mode. At any firing angle alpha, this is the expression 3 root 3 Vm pH by 2 pi into cos alpha. Now coming to the ripple frequency or output frequency or pulse frequency of the three-phase half-wave rectifier is 3 times the supply frequency. So 3 into Fs. This is the output or ripple frequency of the three-phase half-wave rectifier circuit. Now coming to this conducting period of the switch, conducting period of the freewheeling diode. We know that if load is resistive, at any firing angle, the conductive period of freewheeling diode is 0, default, because freewheeling diode conducts when the load is inductive only. So suppose the question is the load is resistive load, and what is the conducting period of freewheeling diode at particular firing angle? It would be 0 at any firing angle alpha. Freewheeling diode exists only for inductive loads, not for resistive loads. So when you come to the inductive loads, what is the conducting period of freewheeling diode? Freewheeling diode conducting period is 0 when alpha less than or equal to 30. We know that when alpha less than or equal to 30, we get continuous conduction mode always by the circuit nature. That is why freewheeling diode does not conduct. If alpha greater than 30 degrees, now freewheeling diode conducts, that is alpha minus 30 degrees. This is for only one pulse. How many pulses are there in the output waveform? 3 pulses. So 3 into alpha minus pi by 6. This is the conducting period of freewheeling diode if firing angle greater than 30 degrees. This is for inductive load. For resistive load, it would be 0 at any firing angle alpha. Now what is the conducting period of the thyristor? Each thyristor? 120 degrees or 2 pi by 3 radians when alpha less than or equal to 30 degrees. When alpha greater than 30 degrees, pi minus pi by 6 plus alpha. Basically, you may ask a question, pi minus alpha, sir, why it is pi by 6 plus alpha? If alpha is 0 means what? Omega t is not 0. Omega t is equals to alpha plus pi by 6. If alpha 0, omega t is 30 degrees. Alpha 30, omega t is 60 degrees. Right? Because when you come to this output voltage equations, like if you have the waveforms, voltage waveform and current three-phase voltage waveform, the phase crossover points or starts at 30 degrees, like so on, right? So at that instant only, at omega t is equal 30 degrees only, the T1 goes to conduction state or forward bias and continuously, right? So below 30 degrees T1 cannot be on. before T1 T5 already in conducting state. So that is why omega T is not 0 if firing angle is 0. So that we are taking pi minus of pi by 6 plus alpha, then 5 pi by 6 minus alpha for alpha greater than 30 degrees. So this is the conducting period of the main switches, thyristors. So this is the analysis of three-phase half-wave rectifier called three-pulse converter circuit analysis. So now let me talk about three-phase full converter. Basically it is a 6-pulse converter. Why it is called 6-pulse? If you give the three-phase input to the converter, a three-phase rectifier full converter, the output DC contains 6 pulses with respect to one cycle of supply voltage, so that it is called 6-pulse converter. So here when you come to the analysis of this full converter according to the examination point of view, we are considering highly inductive load. Why? Because most of the questions are asking on this particular loading condition only. So assume that highly inductive load. We know that what is meant by highly inductive load. Definitely we get load current should be constant and ripple free. That is only the ideal case. Just for the sake of analysis, mathematical analysis, we are assuming that highly inductive load I0 is constant and ripple free, but is never possible in practical domain. Keep it in mind. Now coming to the output waveform, as I said, it is a 6-pulse. It has a 6 pulses. So what is each pulse width? 360 by 6. So each pulse width is 60 degrees. Now what is the conducting period of each phase? How many switches are there in the three-phase full converter? 6 switches, 6 thyristors, right? So each thyristor or each switch conducts 120 degrees. Now coming to the average output voltage, once you get the output waveform, the periodical output waveform from the converter, when you give the three-phase input, so do the mathematical analysis for this particular loading condition. So what is the average output voltage? Very important in the examination. The average output voltage of three-phase full converter V0 is 3 VML by pi cos alpha. So when you go to the three-phase half-wave converters, half-wave rectifiers, in the expression we found it that is VMPH, because in half-wave rectifier load voltage always subjected to phase voltage, whereas in the three-phase full converter and 6-pulse converter load voltage always subjected to line voltage. So V0 is VAB or VBC or VCA, right? Whereas in half-wave rectifier it is VAN or VBN or VCN. So that is why we are taking this VML, maximum of line voltage. So V0 is 3 VML by pi cos alpha. This is for RL and RLE load under continuous conduction mode. So our load is inductive load or inductive load with battery source, then it is a common. Now when you come to the average current expression, I0 is V0 by R for RL load, V0 minus E by R for RLE load. So as like a single phase full converter, three-phase full converter also 2-quadrant converter, because it gives the operation in first quadrant and 4th quadrant, V0, I0 and minus V0. So when you observe the waveform of V0 average output voltage variation with respect to alpha, same as like at 90 degrees 0, at 0 this is 3 VML by pi. Instead of 2 VM by pi, here it is 3 VML by pi. At 180 degrees it is minus 3 VML by pi. So voltage is positive as well as negative. When alpha less than 90, positive voltage, current always positive, then it acts as a rectifier. And above 90 degrees, less than 180 degrees, output voltage is negative sign, average value is, and current also always positive, then power is negative, fed back to source, that is DC to AC, that is called inverter. So three-phase full converter also acts as rectifier as well as inverter when you vary the firing angle as like single phase full converter. That is why it gives operation in first and 4th quadrant, so it is suitable for both forward motoring and braking applications. The conditions what we discussed in the single phase same, except the waveform, the value of average output voltage, right? Where there in single phase full converter, V naught is 2 Vm by pi cos alpha. Here it is V naught is 3 VML by pi cos alpha. That is the only difference. So performance wise same, but the power delivering is more to the load in case of 3-phase full converter than single phase full converter. So this is the load side analysis. Now coming to the source side analysis, right? It's a very important thing in the rectifier. Now coming to the source case, we are applying the 3-phase voltage, A phase, B phase, C phase, or R phase, Y phase, B phase with sinusoidal signal, right? But if you give the sinusoidal voltage, the source current is not sinusoidal, which is quasi square wave in 3-phase full converter due to the harmonics existed in the output source current, right? So what is the source? When you apply the Fourier analysis to that quasi square wave, we get this expression. Is of t is sigma n is equals to 1 3 5 t infinite 4 I naught by n pi cos n pi by 6 sin n omega t minus phi n, right? So this is a phase angle. N is nothing but harmonic component. We know that if n is equals to 1 is a fundamental, n greater than 1 is a harmonic component. Now what is the nature of source current is a quasi square wave, and when you observe this, when you come to this source current expression, if you substitute n is equals to 3 here, cos pi by 2, cos 90 is 0, right? If you substitute n is equals to 9, cos 2 pi by cos, this is 9, n is equals to 9 means 2 pi by 3. So again 0. So for all triplet, when you substitute multiple of 3, 9, 15, 21 and so on, the quantity, the magnitude of source current is 0. It means that triplet harmonics are eliminated in the source current in the 3-phase full converter, right? When you go to the single phase full converter, all harmonics, all odd harmonics are existed, 3, 5, 7, 9, 30, 11, 13 and so on. Whereas in this 3-phase full converter, the harmonics, triplet harmonics are absent. So only it consists again odd harmonics, but triplet harmonics are absent. So harmonic order is 6k plus or minus 1. If you substitute k is equals to 1, what we get? Harmonic order is what? 5 comma 7. There is no third harmonic. If you substitute 2, that is 11 comma 13. There is no ninth harmonic, right? So that is why lower order harmonic is 5th harmonic. So when you come to this analysis again, what is the fundamental? This is a source current expression by application of Fourier series. Now from this, what is it? Consists fundamental component. There is no third harmonic actually. The 5th harmonic component, 7th harmonic component, 11th harmonic and so on. So what is the fundamental source RMS current? IS1 RMS is root 6 by pi into I naught. Just substitute n is equals to 1 in this case. This is the maximum value. Maximum by root 2 is the RMS. Now coming to the source RMS current, actual source RMS current is I naught square root of 2 by 3, right? Because each phase conducting period is 240 degrees over 360 degrees. Fine. So this is the source RMS current. Now coming to the displacement power factor or fundamental power factor or input displacement factor is cos alpha, right? And next thing is, what is the distortion factor? We know that distortion factor is the ratio of fundamental to source RMS. So that is fundamental to source RMS, IS1 RMS by IS RMS, that we get 3 by pi. Then input power factor or supply power factor is displacement factor into distortion factor. Then we get, this is a very important relation you must remember, 3 by pi into cos alpha. Then if you know distortion factor, we know that THD is square root of 1 by distortion factor square minus 1. So we get fixed THD, percentage THD, that is 31.08. So what is the THD in the single phase full converter source current? 40 something, 43 point something, but here it is 31. So the total harmonic distortion gets reduced due to the absence of triplet harmonics. Fine. So now what is the average switch current and RMS switch current? Average switch current is I naught by 3, RMS switch current is I naught by root 3, because each device conducts 120 degrees over 360 degrees. Fine. So how do you calculate power delivered to the converter, active as well as reactive? So single phase we know that Vs Is into cos alpha, but here it is a three phase, root 3 Vs Is into cos alpha. Reactive power also root 3 Vs Is1 sin alpha. What is Is1? Is a fundamental. You must take fundamental component only instead of harmonic component. So this is the analysis of three phase full converter. Is very important in the examination. So now let me talk about another converter. Is a three phase semi converter, also called a three phase half control rectifier. So we know that three phase full converter is a 6 pulse converter, whereas when you come to the three phase semi converter, the number of pulses 6 when alpha less than 60 degrees, means firing angle less than 60 degrees, we get number of pulses 6. Whereas if alpha greater than or equal to 60, the number of pulses 3. So that is why three phase semi converter called 6 pulse converter as well 3 pulse converter. Now coming to this conducting period of switches, when you come to the freewheeling diode conducting period, here we are assuming always highly inductive load for the sake of analysis and examination point of view. The load is highly inductive load, means whether load is RL load or RLE load with high value of inductance in the load, which gives a continuous conduction mode of operation. So it means that always load current I0 is constant and ripple free. Fine. Now coming to this average output voltage V0 is 3 into VML by pi 2 pi into 1 plus cos alpha. This is common expression for RL and RLE load under continuous conduction mode. So you may ask a question, sir, for number of pulses 6 here, number of pulses 3 here, and what is the expression? The expression is same. If you derive average output voltage for alpha less than 60 degrees, alpha greater than or equal to 60 degrees, we get only this expression V0 is equals to 3 VML by 2 pi into 1 plus cos alpha. So we know that by varying the alpha, V0 value also changes, but always it gives a positive value over the firing angle range 0 to 180 degrees as like single phase semi converter, right? So that is why always it gives a rectification mode of operation, means power flows from AC to DC only. So it is called single quadrant because it gives operation in only the first quadrant. Average output voltage is positive, output current always positive. At any firing angle it gives a only rectification mode of operation, that is first quadrant, so that it is suitable only for motoring mode applications as like single phase semi converter. But difference is, compared to the single phase semi converter and three phase semi converter, only the power delivered to load. It gives more power to the load than single phase semi converter. Now coming to the conducting period of the switches. Conducting period of thyristor is, each switch is basically semi converter consists 3 SCRs, 3 diodes, right? So each conducting period of each thyristor or diode under continuous conduction mode is 120 degrees if alpha less than or equal to 60 degrees. But because number of pulses 6, so 360 here number of pulses 6 means what? Conducting period of each switch is 120 degrees. So we get for alpha less than or equal to 60 degrees. But what about alpha greater than or equal to greater than 60 degrees? For alpha greater than 60, freewheeling diode exists. Coming to this, what is a freewheeling diode conducting period? 0 for alpha less than or equal to 60. That is why conducting period of each switch, both thyristor or diode, 120 degrees. But if alpha greater than 60 degrees, freewheeling diode comes into the picture. It conducts alpha minus pi by 3. This is for one pulse. This is for one pulse. How many pulses for alpha greater than 63 pulses? That is a 3 into alpha minus pi by 3. So what is the conducting period of thyristor or diode here? 2 power. Basically it is 120 minus of this alpha minus pi by 3. It gives a pi minus alpha. So conducting period of the thyristor is 120 degrees or 2 pi by 3 radians when alpha less than or equal to 60 degrees. Conducting period of thyristor or diode is pi minus alpha for alpha greater than 60 degrees. Conducting period of freewheeling diode when alpha less than or equal to 60 is 0 degrees because it gives a continuous conduction mode. And when alpha greater than 60 degrees, the conducting period of the freewheeling diode over the 3 pulses over the cyclic period is 3 times 3 pulses into alpha minus pi by 3. Right. Now coming to the source side analysis, it is not much more important to the gate examination point of view. So here there is only one important thing is displacement power factor or fundamental power factor is cos alpha by 2 as like single phase semi converter. So this is the 3-phase semi converter analysis with highly inductive load. Fine. Now coming to the another important thing in the rectifier is, here we do the analysis of the rectifiers till now without source inductance or without source impedance, right? So if source has basically practically source has some internal impedance, resistance case doesn't have, there must be some drop it but not affect the operation of the converter. But when source has the inductance, definitely it what do we say is source inductance definitely affect the operation of the converter, whether it is half-wave rectifier or single phase full converter or 3-phase full converter. Now coming to the single phase half-wave rectifier, basically what is a single phase half-wave rectifier output waveform generally is with resistive load. If we take consider Vm by 2 pi into 1 plus cos alpha, right, without source inductance. If source has inductance, this is a drop across the inductor, definitely load voltage gets reduced by some factor. That factor is this delta V is the voltage change, right? So this would be subtracted from this value, then it gives a net output voltage across the load if source has the inductance. So basically when you go to the half-wave rectifier, we assumed that this is a source, but source has inductance, right? And this is the thyristor Vs, and this is the source inductance Ls, is a load resistor. So but basically what happens if there is no source inductance, V0 always follows the supply voltage, that is we get V0 is equals to Vm by 2 pi into 1 plus cos alpha. But if source has this much of inductance, source inductance, definitely there must be some drop across it, right, due to the change in the current, so that this drop should be considered, and V0 is nothing but Vs minus this. So we get V0 is equal, net voltage across the load is now Vm by 2 pi into 1 plus cos alpha minus this factor, right? Whereas when you come to the single phase full converter, output voltage basically what, V0 is 2 Vm by pi cos alpha, right, in general without source inductance. If source has inductance, again there must be some drop across the inductance that would be deducted from this output voltage without source inductance. The net voltage across the load is 2 Vm by pi cos alpha minus this drop, that is net voltage reduces, right? Now what is I0? Load current is Vm by omega L into cos alpha minus cos alpha plus mu. Now coming to the 3-phase full converter, V0 is 3 VML by pi cos alpha without source inductance. With source inductance, each line has inductance, right? So there must be some drop across it, then 3 omega Ls by pi into I0, right? So net voltage across the load is voltage without source inductance minus this drop across the inductance. And current I0 is VML by 2 omega Ls cos alpha minus cos alpha plus mu. So basically when you come to the converter, any converter, without source inductance, what is the output voltage of single phase half-wave rectifier? Vm by 2 pi 1 plus cos alpha. Full converter single phase 2 Vm by pi cos alpha. 3-phase full converter 3 VML by pi cos alpha. With source inductance, this drop occur, then output voltage gets reduced. So for P pulse converter, what is the change? What is the voltage? How much factor gets reduced? Delta V is P by 2 into omega Ls by pi into I0. If P is 1 pulse converter, that is half-wave rectifier, omega Ls by 2 pi into I0, right? If P is, when you come to the single phase full converter, basically it is a 2 pulse converter, so 2 by 2 1 omega Ls by pi into I0. When you come to the 6 pulse converter, 3-phase full converter, 6 pulse converter, 6 by 2 is a 3 omega Ls by pi into I0. Suppose if it is semi converter, it's 3 pulse converter, let us take 3 pulse converter means what? 3 by 2 into 3 omega Ls by 2 pi into I0. So in such a way we can calculate the voltage across the inductor, which can be subtracted from the actual output voltage. Then net output voltage is, these are the expressions. Now, so what is the mu? Mu is called commutating or overlapping angle, right? What does it do? Is during this commutating period, why we are getting this less voltage? Because during this commutating period, all the switches are in conducting state. When you come to the single phase full converter, all the switches are in conducting state, so that net voltage would be 0 sometime. That period is called as commutating period because of source inductance, so that output voltage gets reduced, right? And what is LS? Source inductance. Omega is nothing but frequency, right? Fine. Now coming to the three phase full converter, during commutating period, one switch, there are 6 switches, right? 6 thyristors, 3 from positive group, 3 from negative group, means upper group 3, lower group 3, right? So one device from upper group, 2 devices from lower group, or 2 devices from upper group, 1 device from lower group. Basically, without source inductance, 1 from upper group, 1 from lower group. With source inductance, 1 from upper group and 2 from lower group, or 2 from upper group, 1 from lower group. So that is 3 switches are conducting at a time, so that there must be some reduction in the output voltage. So this is the output voltage calculation with source inductance. Finally, what we say? Source inductance reduces the output voltage of the converter, means it gets the performance of the, reduces the performance of the converter circuit. Fine. Now coming to the displacement, another important thing is displacement power factor or fundamental power factor. Is basically, in case of single phase full converter or 3 phase full converter, fundamental power factor is what? Cos alpha. But here we know that along with the alpha there must be some angle, right? This commutating angle mu. So cos of alpha plus mu by 2. This is the fundamental power factor or displacement power factor. Very important in the examinations. So this is the first part is 3 phase semi converter analysis. Next, another important according to the examination is effect of source inductance.